we're going to go ahead and do 2-1 worksheet 1 the homework for you. So the directions in this homework assignment say to match the following quadratic functions with the correct graphs. Now I want you to do that by using your lovely little up, down, left, down, stretch, compress, reflect. Okay? I want you to mentally do this. So match the following functions with the correct graph mentally by doing transformations. So what is happening to this graph right here? What's happening to this graph is it's going down 2 units, which means that it is going to be having a vertex of 0, -2, which means this thing is going to go down 2 units and it's opening up. And what letter would you match that with? If you said letter A, you would be correct. So number 3 is going to be letter A. That is correct. Number 5. Number 5 is actually in vertex form, but what bothers us is this value right here. So go ahead and put that value at the end. So that's f of x is equal to -x minus 2 squared plus 4. We're just simply tacking that on at the end, okay? So this is already in vertex form, so this is reflected, and it's going to go to the left, or to the right 2 units, sorry, and up 4. So that means my vertex is going to be 2, +4. So here's 2, here's 4, there's my vertex. It is being reflected, so that means it's opening down. So which graph looks like that on here? If you said letter H, you would be right. So that is how you're going to do problems 1 through 8. If you have questions, please ask me. Okay? Number the back, problems 9 through 16. The directions say for the following equations, complete the following list. Meaning, what I want you to do is to step 1, find the equation in standard form, if it is not already. Many of these are already in it, or you can simply quickly factor them to get them in standard form. Number 3, letter B, is to find the vertex. Letter C is to find the x-intercepts. Letter D is to check your work. So let's walk through one of these on how you would do it. Number 10, y is equal to 1/2 x squared minus 4. Your brain needs to understand this is already in vertex form, meaning this thing is going to be compressed by 1/2 and it's moving down 4 units. So my vertex is 0, -4. So I already have part B done, and this is part A because it's already in vertex form. So part C says to go ahead and to find the x-intercepts. So how do I find the x-intercepts? I let this thing equal 0, and then I solve. So I'm going to add the 4 over. I multiply by 2, and then I take the square root. When I take the square root, I automatically do plus or minus, and I look for the perfect square factors of 8. That's going to be 4 times 2. That 4 is going to come out as a 2 to give me plus or minus 2. Square roots of 2 is equal to x. Now I'm going to show you how to check this graphically. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this on Desmos, because Desmos is really easy. If we do the graphing calculator, I'm going to actually get a new document. I want a calculator page, and this is going to be 1 divided by 2 x squared, and that was going to be minus 4. It doesn't like me. And I hit enter. That is my graph, okay? Now, typically you would hit menu, analyze graph, and then you do 0, go to the left, go to the right, menu, analyze graph, 0, go to the left, go to the right, and it's going to give you your zeros. However, you guys don't have the capabilities. You probably want to work smarter rather than harder. So if you come over here to Desmos, and if you type this in, 1 divided by 2, arrow to the right, x squared minus 4, and hit enter, that's what you're going to get. Now, if you take your mouse and you click on this graph, do you see 3 dots automatically appear? If you click on them, it'll give you the numeric values. Those numeric values, this bottom one is the vertex, and these 2 other dots are going to be the x-intercepts. So negative 2.828 and positive 2.828. So what is that numerically? So if I come back over here to my calculator And if I take 2 times the square root of 2 and hit enter, that is the decimal. And I know that I'm correct, and I've used the calculator to confirm what I did algebraically was right. So that's how you are going to do your homework. Okay? So with that being said, I just showed you how to do some of the problems on there. Now, what I need your brain to understand is which one's in standard forms and which one is not. Number 9, 25 minus x squared, it's already in standard form. 10 we just did. Number 11, factor it into 2 binomials. That binomial will be the same. It'll be a squared one. Number 12 is already in standard form. Now let's talk about number 13. Same exact procedure. This is not in standard form, so I have to make it in standard form. So how do I go about that? Well, the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to let 0 equal 4x squared minus 4x plus 21. I'm going to bring that 21 over by subtracting it. And then my constant term, which is my leading coefficient, which is 4, has to be a 1. So I'm going to do that by pulling out a 4. And if I pull a 4 out of a 4, I'm left with a 1 on both of those terms. So now I'm going to come over here and do sidebar. So my sidebar is going to be my b value divided by 2. Your b value is going to be right here. That is your b value. So that's going to be 1 divided by 2 squared is going to give me a 1/4. 1/4 is what I'm adding inside the parentheses. So what I'm actually multiplying by is 4 times a 4th on both sides. So that is going to be negative 21 plus 4 times a 4th. 4 times a 4th is 1. These 3 terms are going to turn into an x minus a half squared. Where did those things come from? This right here and this right here. Okay? We want to keep going and putting this in standard form. So if I'm putting this in standard form, I have negative 20 is equal to 4 times x minus a half squared. Bring that over, and I have y is equal to 4 times x minus a half squared plus 20. What would have been over there is 0, and I replaced 0 with y. Okay? So that is going to be letter A. Now letter B says to find the vertex of this thing. So how do I find the vertex? The vertex is found by understanding what's happening to this graph. This thing is going to the right 1/2 and it's going to go up 20. So my vertex is going to be 1/2 comma 20. Now, I would like us to graph this for a hot second. So if I graph this thing, I'm going to go half over and I'm going to go up to 20. That's what it looks like, and it's opening up. Now my question is does this ever cross the x-axis? Does it ever cross this right here? The answer to that is no, it does not cross. So I have no x-intercepts because it never crosses the x-axis. So you simply write none. Okay? So that means I have done A, B, and C, and then I have D to check. So we're going to come back over and we're going to graph letter D. So I'm going to come over to Desmos. Okay? And I'm going to shut this one off by getting rid of that there. And I'm going to go ahead and graph. This is going to be 4x squared minus 4x plus 21. And I hit enter. And this is out of my window. So whenever I zoom out, do you see it up there? What this means is this is not crossing the x-axis. My x-axis is all the way down here. So since this is not crossing my x-axis, I have no x-intercepts. So I'm done with that problem. Okay? Okay, next. Problem number 18. The directions say write an equation in standard form for the following quadratic functions given the following information. So what do I know? I know that y is equal to a x minus h squared plus k. I know that's h, that's k, that's x, and that's y. I'm simply just going to plug all my values in except for a and solve for a. So y is 4, a I don't know, x is -2 minus a -5/2 squared, and then plus k, which is 3/4. A double negative creates a positive. And you can plug this into your calculator, but I'm going to make this -4/2 because my brain can do that. And that's going to give me a 1/2 squared times a plus 3/4. 1/2 squared is going to be 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4. Then I'm going to go ahead and multiply the entire equation by 4. So 16 is equal to a plus 3. My 4's cancel out. Subtract the 3, and I have 13 is equal to a. So I found a. So my equation is going to be y is equal to 13x. H is going to be minus a -5/2 squared plus 3/4. What does a double negative create? A positive. So that's x plus 5/2 squared plus 3/4. And that problem is done now. Number 20, the directions say find the x-intercepts of the following equations by using your graphing calculator and its zero feature. So we're going to go over here. And I'm going to eliminate these ones. And I'm going to zoom down. And I'm going to type in what our problem is. So that's 7 divided by 10, parenthesis, x squared plus 12x minus 45. And hit enter. The directions say to find the x-intercepts. So that's going to be 3 and -15. And there's my vertex. So -15 and 3 are going to be your x-intercepts, and you are done. Okay? That's all you have to do. Okay? And we did that by using the graphing calculator or Desmos, whatever you are comfortable with. If you're using the calculator, that's the zero feature, and you have to do bounds, left bound and right bound. Okay? So that is 1.2.1 worksheet 1.